And then let's talk a little bit about the movie, because I know that you were a bit involved. You were talking and emailing back and forth with the director. You're on set visiting and looking at things. How involved were you in the production of the film?
I was not involved in the beginning, but then as time went on, it takes a while for books to go into film. I started to get sort of friendly with Alison Greenspan, who was the producer and who died earlier this year, and she was incredible and tenacious and wonderful. And sort of as time went on, we kind of got closer. And so when R.J. Cutler came aboard, I think Alison knew that I had some sort of ideas about this, and also that authors are really great kind of ambassadors for the readers, for the fans. And we have been living with these characters, so we know these characters very well, but we also know what's important to the fans. So right when RJ came aboard, the three of us really kind of worked on things together. I mean, RJ worked with Shauna Cross, who wrote the script, but I was able to kind of, I remember RJ would call and be like, we need Adam up on the roof. Why would Adam be on the roof? And because I know Adam so well, I could be like, here's a reason, here's a reason. So yes, I was able to be involved. I was on the set. I went on the tour with Chloe when the film came out. So it was a pretty amazing experience, and I really do thank Alison, who I miss, and RJ for that.
And with a film, just because there are going to be people acting out performances that at one point existed solely within you, they're going to be building sets that at one point, were just in your mind and then were expanded in your reader's mind. No matter how they film this movie, there's no chance that they can 100% faithfully recreate your novel. Does that, is there like a period before the movie where it's just you and the reader and this world exists within your imaginations, and then after, where everyone who reads the book after, who takes a moment to Google it or look at YouTube, is at least going to see a trailer for the film, and that's going to influence some of their view? Does that is that a factor at all? Does that bother you a bit, or do you feel some sort of ownership of the film that, yes, I am glad that this is my world fully realized?
I think that even if there's not a film adaptation of your book, something like that happens. You have your idea of your characters, of the world, of what you want the book to say, and it goes out and it goes to the readers, and then it's theirs. And even if they never Google what Adam or Mia or Teddy looks like, they create their own versions in their own head. So that's kind of the only thing you control as an author, is the book that you're writing right now. As soon as you let it go out the door, it belongs to the reader. So seeing an adaptation of that is just kind of an extension of that. It's just one more group of people interpreting it. I think in the case of If I Stay, they did such a good job of evoking the feeling of the book that I've heard from so many readers. They didn't change a thing. They changed a lot. We had to change a lot. This is a story that takes place within a comatose girl's brain. And to externalize that, you had to change some things. But I think readers or viewers didn't see it because the characters felt so true to who they were. And I remember when I first arrived on set, I had sent RJ like a bunch of things about how I thought the house would look, the Hall house would look. And so I got to Vancouver, and it was like a couple days before we were starting to shoot, and RJ's like, have you gone to the set? And I said, no. So I went to the house where Mia lives, and I stepped inside. And because the story is based on friends of mine who had died, and because so many of the pictures and ideas I had given to RJ came from real life, stepping into that house was like intense. It felt like I was stepping into my friend's house and they were alive again. And I remember I stepped in there, and it was like, all these people around, set designers, what have you, I just started to cry. So it was a humbling and beautiful experience, rather than being like, oh, that couch doesn't look like their couch would look. It felt so authentic to who they were that it was just like, oh my God, they like conjured this thing that I had created in my head based on a house and a family that no longer existed, and they made it again.